Hey guys, Will from Tested.
Wait, this is a podcast.
Oh. So you say your thing.
Make sure it's framed. I can't tell if it's framed right at all.
Close enough. Just aim it right at your face.
Hey, let's start the show.
It's July 20-something, 2018th, 2013. Welcome to This Is Only a Test, the official podcast of Tested.com. Ding, ding, ding.
What is going on here?
Hi, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
It's good to see you, Norm. We're not in the usual place that we make podcasts.
I think we also learned that none of us know the theme song of the show by heart.
You'd think after 176 episodes we would remember. Are we going, which
we're going east.
Okay. Sorry.
You couldn't tell we're in a car right now.
Yeah, we're driving.
And we're actually recording a podcast in the car.
Joey's here.
Joey's in the back.
Hi.
He's running the audio. We actually have a laptop set up with a mixer. And we're driving to Comic-Con. So this is our Comic-Con episode.
Well, shouldn't you be dressed as like Chewbacca or Greedo or something?
Everything's in storage right now. Everything's packed in the back.
Okay.
We're driving down to Comic-Con. I'm going to flip the camera over so you can actually, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to watch the road and just have enjoy a road trip.
It's the roadcast.
It is a roadcast.
Flip it around.
Oof. There it goes. All right.
That looks good, right?
That looks pretty good.
Okay. So we're on Interstate 5. There's some windmills on the left. One of them has a Safeway logo on it. I think this is where all of our food comes from.
What do you mean all of our food?
If you buy food at Safeway in the Bay Area, it goes through that building over there on the way to your grocery store.
That is the local, the regional Safeway.
Yeah, it's like the hub.
There's a lot of beef that comes through here.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Harris Ranch. We can have that for lunch.
We could have that for lunch. I had a banana just a minute ago.
So it's Monday right now, so not much has happened in the world of tech. So don't expect to hear a lot of tech news unless stuff goes down. If you've watched our live streams and followed our road trips before, we've driven to CES in past years, and we deck out our car to be as high tech as possible.
I don't know about that, but we're
as possible.
Right now we're internet connected. We have 120 volt power. We have a bunch of USB ports. What else do we have?
We have tethering on both Verizon and AT&T on that.
Yeah, we're double interneted.
It's great because we have laptops with reasonable battery life.
Yep.
And we have all the gear we need to record Comic-Con and record podcasts there. And a bunch of Adam stuff in the back.
Right, and there's a crib back there too.
And Will has a crib in the car, so if anyone needs to take a nap.
So it's like an episode of Cribs, is what you're saying.
A baby crib can be deployed off the side of the road.
Yeah, we can just pull over at a moment's notice.
If you walk across America, the people who do it recommend that you walk with a baby stroller.
So you have something to lean against?
So that is much easier on you to carry your stuff.
Than like dragging a bag or a backpack?
Than from having a backpack. If you're going to walk across America 5,000 miles.
Have you ever thought about that? Is that something you would
that is something
consider
that
doing?
Everyone has, at one point in their life, after watching a timeless classic, the movie Forrest Gump, has thought about.
Dude, you're just goading me now.
And, but I don't think it's something that if you walk across your city, you're like, this is enough. I don't think I need to walk. He jogged. He ran across America. And
also,
back.
that movie sucks ass.
Okay.
It's a terrible movie.
But walking across America is a thing that people do. I don't know what the ideal route is.
I would assume you go like one way you have desert and the other way you have mountains. So
we got to cut through the mountains at one point.
Or you can go south and go up the plateau at Grand Canyon, and I don't know. It seems like a horrible way to go.
Those people also aren't the type of people who strike me as people who think it through.
You think they just get on they just walk out the front door one day and then disappear for 6 months?
They got $500 in cash, new pair of shoes, and some water, a knife, and they just go for it.
Would you guys drive a tractor?
I've driven a tractor
across
America.
Have you guys seen that David Lynch film?
No.
That dude drives older guy, I think his wife dies, drives a tractor across America.
Like a John Deere?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of gas.
Actually, not that much. Because they burn the same amount of gas no matter what speed you go, basically.
But you're
Because of
moving
the way
very
they're geared.
slowly.
It's a slow, steady move through America. He meets a lot of folk. It's the most un-David Lynch film.
Huh. What's
I can't remember the name of it. I'm blanking on it.
It's not. I'm thinking of the David Byrne film, The Happy Texas, right? That's another weird slice of Americana. One of our.
It's David Lynch, Joey.
It's David Lynch, yeah.
It seems like something he'd do. I can't imagine driving a tractor across the country. I spent enough time on a tractor as a kid that I would rather not ever do that again. Google Glass is telling me to take this exit, which I know is wrong.
So not only do we have cameras in this car set up, a GoPro plugged into power,
Yeah.
an inverter for power. This car is a rental. What are we driving today?
It's a 2013 Ford Explorer, but we shouldn't really give them free marketing because we have to pay for the rental car. So it's generic.
Generic car, and this car actually has USB inputs, 2 USB inputs.
Yep.
For power.
It has an SD card slot.
Oh, is that USB for power?
It's USB for power and it'll do data. So it will connect, it'll pull your media off of your iPhone or Android phone.
Gotcha. Plugging in. You have a Mophie in here.
I'm charging my Mophie.
There's an SD card slot, and there's actually RCA in this car.
Yeah, I assume that's to run the center console. Is there a TV in the back seat, Joey? Doesn't look
I
like
did
it.
not see one.
No.
The Straight Story is the movie I was thinking.
Oh, The Straight Story. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have much tech back here.
We have a laptop and a mixing board. And,
stock in car. I think you guys got it all.
What do we have in terms of edibles?
This isn't the fully loaded one. Oh, so I went to the grocery store and I bought novelty food. We have corn nuts. Corn nuts are a road trip staple where I come from.
Didn't you not know what corn nuts were until you went to Valve that one year?
You're absolutely correct. When we went to Valve to play, I want to say Half-Life 2.
Maybe it was Left 4 Dead.
No. I think it was when Josh Norham and I went to play Half-Life 2.
You discovered corn nuts.
Well, so one of the things that I didn't realize is that game developers have open kitchens full of junk food and caffeine.
It's like a startup.
Like a startup.
Norm, I'm getting a lot of rub on you.
Then
I will move around less.
Don't move, Norm. They had a bunch of junk food, and I had never had corn nuts before, so I tried corn nuts since the opportunity presented itself. And
I'll say love story commenced.
I don't know about love story, but corn nuts they're
America has a surplus of corn.
they take a little longer to eat than your typical junk food, which I kind of it's like all of the appeal of say sunflower seeds in the shell, where you have to kind of do some work to get the real
No work
food
required.
out of it,
Corn nuts is just heavily salted, heavily flavored,
and you have to chew pretty heartily.
and it's a good crunch.
They could crack teeth.
Yeah,
If they're stale enough, they will.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it'll hurt you.
Yeah, corn nuts were a staple of my childhood.
So I got the corn nuts. I don't know if the corn nuts are as popular in the East Coast. That also may be why I didn't see them until I moved out here.
Pepperidge Farm's goldfish is one you're missing that I always.
Oh, that's your
I
weakness,
forgot the
right?
goldfish.
Yeah, my kryptonite is
Play
goldfish.
protected content using its USB connection.
Hey Norm, you can't
What?
play protected content using that USB connection.
Whose voice was that?
That's the car. We're getting your voicemail
Oh
now
my god, that's weird. Why would it do that?
because
I just wanted to charge my phone.
Sync.
Oh,
Now
that
you
was
put us on the
weird.
radio for some reason. How did this car?
This car is not meant to have multiple things plugged into it at once.
This car has too many. You can't see this, but it's all glass control panels. So there's on the left, there's one that's car stuff, like fuel economy and speed and trip odometers and distance to empty and all that kind of nonsense. And then on the other side, it's all the shit that you should never be paying attention to while you're driving, like radio.
Is that
Wait,
me again?
are you logging the miles for this podcast?
I am,
All right.
actually.
What are we at now?
Did you plug back in? You're
I did
playing
plug
music.
back in, but I'm trying to trick it into thinking it's
Stop-
a camera.
stop.
And not a.
Stop playing music.
I don't know how.
Stop playing music.
I don't know
Norman Chen?
what is being played right now. Is this,
Use the audio controls on your phone to press stop.
nope.
This is destination will be something or other. Is this pirated music? It doesn't even have good ID3 tags.
It's not Spotify.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what this is. It's not showing up anywhere.
complete debacle.
Android.
This is going to go in your living with Android post, I hope. Right now we're at 80 miles an hour as we're driving down the freeway. So,
No, this is not me. It wasn't me at all. It was radio.
no, it switches off the radio when you unplug the USB. I'm just going to, there we go. Problem solved.
Power off.
Technology. Yeah, so we're doing the road trip this time. God damn it.
There goes. Power off.
We're doing the road trip this time because we wanted to stop along the way and shoot a couple of videos with some people who make some cool stuff. And I don't want to blow the surprise on that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we'll more on that in coming weeks. Maybe as part of Geek Week on YouTube.
This is a very familiar drive. It's basically the same drive down to CES.
It's half of the drive to CES, basically.
It is the way you're forced to go if you go to Las Vegas.
If you want to go down to SoCal, it's this or 101.
Well, have you ever done the other way to Vegas, the
the
through
mountains?
Tahoe and through the Eastern Sierras?
I have not. I've always assumed that would be a lot longer.
It's
It does feel weird doing this J, going down to LA and then kind of swooping up to Vegas.
well, so the time of year that we go to CES in January, I think you probably should, I think that's probably a really bad idea to go through the Eastern Sierras because there could be like 14 feet of snow or something crazy. But like when you go, I did it in the summer one time with my wife and my parents actually, and it's a really awesome drive.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, like
nice out there.
it was nice and the weather was good. There's cool stuff to stop and see. When you get into the eastern valley of California by the Nevada border, there's like a bunch of Old West stuff there, like going through Death Valley and all that. And then there's also a lot of the mountain stuff where they shot all the westerns and not Monument Valley stuff, but like things like the Lone Ranger and all the 50s Gunsmoke and all those TV
So like
westerns.
the American, the non-Italian, non-spaghetti westerns.
Exactly. American westerns.
Oh, yeah. John Wayne.
Yeah. Well, John Wayne was in the spaghetti. I guess he wasn't actually, was
A
he?
little more Clint and Van Cleef and
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. Like one of the things we did was do the tourist thing where you rent a tape, I think, or buy a tape, and it tells you the places to drive to see the like.
Does the tape run in real time? There's no way.
No, it says drive to this place and turn right, and then press play again when you want more directions. You press play again when you want more directions.
oh.
And like we went to see. My dad was super stoked because we saw the place where at the beginning of the Lone Ranger where the horse rears up and he says "Hi-Ho Silver away," not the bullshit new one, the old TV show. You saw the rocks where the horse rode up. It was really neat. It was super weird.
Shot in Utah.
That's the kind of stuff that I really get giddy about.
Yeah, like it's super dumb, right?
Scenes like that.
Screen matching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the same kind of appeal as like the people who went through New York right after GTA 4 came out and were like, this is the corner that this corner of the game is based on. You see it, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I totally see it.
I was living in LA
I
when
wanna
the
see it.
GTA 3, the GTA San Andreas came out, and like I was totally driving around all the Santa Monica landmarks and Malibu. It was a lot of
LA is weird in that there are parts of LA where you just drive under like a overpass or a small like dip, and then like, it totally looks different. Like the LA is so flat.
It's a vast,
yeah.
And all its regions are just directly connected. But the neighborhood, just suddenly you're in a nicer neighborhood, and then you're suddenly in a crappy neighborhood.
I just went through the wardrobe.
It was just like, it's a loading zone.
You always got to look at the street signs. The street signs change in Los Angeles depending on where you're at.
Like which little are they townships?
Santa Monica. I think they're considered. I think a lot of them are considered cities.
Okay.
It's just LA. Like when you say LA, I think people just kind of group in Santa Monica, West LA,
Okay.
Hollywood,
Venice, all that stuff.
But like Los Angeles, the city itself is actually the center area, kind of small. Yeah.
See, so yeah, we started driving at what, like 10 o'clock probably from the office.
Yep.
Seems like it's about 4 or 5 hours to where we're going today.
And we're hopefully going to hit LA and get some Roscoe's chicken.
I would love some chicken and waffles. Maybe Portillo's tomorrow morning on the way out. Hey, look, there's a deer or something over there. Some sort of. What the hell is that? It's a coyote.
That looks like a coyote.
It is a coyote on the side of the road, live.
Coyote spottings. Not many
I
hawks.
haven't seen any hawks today. I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
You'll be sure to call them out.
That's generally what I do.
Call out the hawks, call out the windmills, and
we won't
trees on the side of the road.
That's an orchard, it looks like. No, those look cons, maybe.
pecan orchard.
Or peaches, maybe.
I ran into a tumbleweed on this road once.
Like with your car?
Yeah, I was driving and all of a sudden a tumbleweed. I was like, oh, look at that, how neat. And then it just came in front of me.
What?
And it messed up the front of my car, but I
Oh,
was really happy I saw it.
did it explode?
No, it got caught in the, it got caught underneath the car. I had to pull over
no.
and tear out things.
So let's see, what's gone on since we spoke last?
It was just the weekend.
Well, we've all
Extreme.
seen. Oh, yeah, you guys went to CAX. You and your roommates.
Yep.
Explain CAX first off.
It's an annual convention of pinball and arcade enthusiasts in California, held in Santa Clara. It's actually the same hotel that the Lego convention was at last year.
I didn't know that, in that big ballroom.
Not the same ballroom.
Okay.
It's basically one massive ballroom. And what you have is collectors of pinball machines and old arcade machines who donate their machines for that weekend. And you pay a flat fee. It's kind of expensive. It's $40.
I think you can get
a
it
day.
cheaper if you like do the tickets in advance.
No, it's the same price.
Or you get a 3-day pass for cheaper or something.
2 days is $60, but it's unlimited free play.
It's a lot of quarters though.
But even if you could enjoy all that pinball, there's a lot of lines. But you do discover a lot of machines that you've either only never heard of, never seen before, or never got a chance to play.
Like never saw it working, maybe.
Yeah, so it's hundreds of machines, and there's everything from Star Trek Next Generation to even the ones with the color
Pinball, you mean?
Pinball,
Yeah.
To the color dot matrix displays. in the
Oh,
back.
neat. Okay.
Which is very neat. I saw the Tron Legacy pinball machine with a modified miniature Tron arcade cabinet, which is cool. Jeremy built.
Yeah.
There was Terminator 2. You have Addams Family. Simpsons was probably my favorite pinball machine.
House of Magic.
No, House of Magic with pinball machine was there. Yes, for
Okay.
sure. Medieval. There was a medieval one that was really fun, and a lot of people. When you're a kid, you play pinball. You put the money. It's expensive, like 75 cents for 3 balls.
Yeah.
And you hit your flippers without any direction. You never really you're getting millions of points and hundreds of thousands of points.
You're just trying to keep the ball out of the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That itself was tough enough. But every pinball machine is designed differently with different objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really look at the objectives and learn what you're supposed to do, you can have a lot more fun with a pinball game.
Oh yeah. Well, and at CAX, you should have people around you that are enthusiasts and maybe can help direct you. Like, hey, if you hit that now, then this cool thing will happen.
And
Because they're almost like puzzle boxes.
If you're waiting in line, you can just watch the pinball machine and watch the screen and learn different ways. One of my favorites was this medieval castle attack, where there was a pinball machine in the back. There was this giant toy castle, and you had a gate, and you're playing as an invading army trying to attack the castle, and by going through missions, you lower the gate, and you got to lower the ramp over the moat, and then you send the pinball machine, basically, which works as a cannonball or a catapult, into the castle, and then the whole castle blows up, and then trolls pop up, and there's a dragon. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And then some people sell their machines at California Extreme.
Yeah, like if you want to buy a real cherry, or even get a good deal on something that maybe needs a little help, there's usually a lot of people selling machines there.
There's a bunch of arcade machines, lots of Street Fighter, lots of Robotron, lots of Tempest, like 5 Tempest machines. One of the most fun arcade games there was The Grid. Have you guys heard of The Grid?
No.
This is a Midway game.
Is it new?
No, made in around 2001, around the NFL Blitz era of Midway games.
Uh-huh.
Same type of graphics, made by Ed Boon.
Okay.
Of Mortal Kombat fame. And I was told that this is what Ed Boon, his side project, what he worked on to really keep himself sane while during the Mortal Kombat craze. But it was a stand-up arcade machine that looked like NFL Blitz, but it was deathmatch. It was Quake deathmatch, basically.
Really?
With networked arcade machines. And they had 6 of these machines next to each other in a semicircle.
How did it control?
Now here's the weird thing. The control was, on your left hand, a joystick for movement, with buttons for.
So you're sitting
firing.
down?
No, standing up.
Okay.
A joystick for movement, and a trackball on your right hand for aiming.
So it's mouse and keyboard basically.
Joystick, trackball, and a numpad in the middle to type in your name.
It's like a Cyberman. A Logitech Cyber. Remember those weird
Yes.
Logitech controller, or
It was the
Wingman
weirdest thing
Extreme or whatever.
Ever. But it was incredibly fun. You spawn, you get to pick your character. Lots of just Ed Boon touches in there. Weird, wacky weapons, flamethrowers, sonic weapons, finishing moves.
It makes sense that he would have been into deathmatch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Huh. And what was it? What do you remember? What era it was? It's like early '90s.
Like early thousand, late
okay.
'90s, early thousands.
So like after 3D Mortal Kombat, after Mortal Kombat 3 and all that.
I mean, it was 3D. It had polygons. It just looked like NFL Blitz.
like 3D FX basically era. Probably.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'd never heard of that before.
So they had that. You had some Japanese games.
Okay.
So there was one where you sit on this bicycle of sorts and pedal to fly a flying contraption, like a
So it's like
glider.
spin class.
Just like that, and you get to tilt and use motorcycle controls to fly this machine through balloons,
So it's like MotoGP but with pedaling.
but with pedaling.
Wow, that's crazy.
There was a bunch of shooting games there. One called Police 911, which you stood on a pad and, like Time Crisis, where you have to dodge or you have to hide to reload.
Mhm.
Like the classic Time Crisis arcade machines had a pedal, and you hit the pedal to stand up, or you hit the pedal to hide,
Uh-huh.
to recede, and basically added this element of where you were just trying to stay alive, but the faster you kill people, the faster you progress through a level, and you're playing for time in
Hence the
addition to
name.
life. Time Crisis. But Police 911 didn't use a pedal; it used motion controls. So there's a body sensor, and if you duck and move your body around, you could hide behind obstacles and shoot. It was very
That sounds
exciting,
crazy.
and it was something the day after you would definitely feel.
That sounds
your legs.
exhausting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're just crouching basically the whole time, and ducking while also shooting.
So one of the things that I never realized until we worked at Whiskey and the bomb guys were always bringing arcade machines in and out of the basement there is how terrifying it is to move arcade machines. Because they're like the monitors are really heavy. In some cases, they weigh 80 or 80 plus pounds for some of those bigger CRT monitors. And they're all super top heavy because the monitors are in the top and then the bottom stuff weighs practically nothing. So, like at this point now, when I'm driving down the freeway and I see some dude with 2 arcade machines strapped in the back of a pickup truck vertical, it's like those guys are hard. That's like they're hard as nails. That's a tough thing to do. So, like for people to bring machines from all over the country into California Extreme is a really big deal.
Oh yeah, and a lot of it's stuff that was like in storage, and they bring out and they restore it, and it was just. I got there late on that day, so the lines were that long. But if you were there for the full day, you could be waiting, half an hour to an hour in line.
Well, but the nice thing about California Extreme too is it runs super late on Saturday night,
it goes
right?
till 2
So it goes-
a.m.
yeah, so you, like if you stay until 1 or 2, then the lines I would assume thin out.
They
considerably.
definitely do.
And do people drink? Is there like a bar there too?
It's in the hotel, so people go out to the hotel part of the hotel bar
Okay.
and drink there. There's also companies there selling their wares, so you have new arcade machines there,
Like brand new,
or brand new
like games that are new too.
brand new pinball machines.
Okay.
So there was this Wizard of Oz game.
Is it based on the movie with Mila
Based on the-
Kunis?
No, the old Wizard of Oz license.
Oh, okay.
And wonderful. It looked gorgeous. It had RGB LEDs, had this giant LCD screen, wonderful little toys in the pinball machine, and a beautiful play field. And they were selling. I think they might have been sold out of that. They had one of that machine there that people were really excited about. And then the new big machine for this year was Metallica.
Well, because they do what, like five or six new tables a year between all the manufacturers, probably.
Yeah, not many manufacturers still make machines.
Metallica.
Yeah,
Ride the lightning.
yeah. You could have bought a Metallica machine there. They were selling it.
What does a pinball machine cost? Like $4 or $5 grand?
I think it's the old one.
Well, a used one I know is going to be anywhere from what, like $300 to crazy expensive, depending on how collectible it is.
A new one can be up to $8,000,
Wow.
depending on what kind of features you get in a machine.
And what the game is, I assume, too, how complex. But at this point, the people that are making pinball machines are kind of doing it for the craft, like to show off what you can do with the pinball machine in the modern age, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the design. A lot of the money is all in. If you're talking about reaching mass people, the money is in digitized pinball machines, and
the iPad app and the
360 stuff.
But those pinball effects and stuff, like, it's a neat sim, and it's cool to get to see the different tables and see how they work and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel the same. Like, you don't have the same kind of unpredictability that you get off of playing a real table. I think, at least. I mean, it's good. It's better than nothing, I guess.
And then the people were there were talking, they've never seen tables in such good condition. The playfields are like nicely waxed, so the balls are just really smooth, really even faster than you'd get. You feel at a more used up pinball machine.
Did you have the urge to purchase anything while you were there, Norm?
I didn't see anything for sale that I wanted, but if I were to buy a pinball machine, it definitely made you want to have a pinball machine at home in your garage.
Yeah, it would. I mean, you have a good garage for that too.
It's a matter of spending the money.
Right.
Do they have things like foosball machines?
No foosball. No. It was classic arcades, Japanese arcades, some like weird things like the Sega Time Traveler hologram game.
Oh yeah.
It was like
I remember that. I used to pay like $5 a game for that.
It was crazy expensive.
It was like
and impossible too.
Yeah,
just to be clear, it is a really hard game.
Like what's that?
Dragon's Lair?
Dragon's Lair.
And Space Ace and all those.
Yes.
Yeah.
And quick time events. You're a dude who goes through time, a cowboy, and you got to shoot the dudes before they pop up and shoot you.
Yeah.
And it was a giant, wide machine for the small little hologram area.
How did that hologram work? Do you know?
Mirrors and curved screens.
Okay, so just like the penny thing at Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yeah, you had to look at it from a very specific angle.
Yeah, no, I knew that. That was always really expensive.
Hokra was there.
Oh, excuse me. The guy we saw him at E3 last year.
The Xbox
2012 E3, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with that game? Is that
I think it's going to be released on PS3 as an indie game.
It's in the same collection. It's in that Kickstarted collection with Johann Sebastian Joust and I can't remember the other game. There were like 3 kind of avant-garde sports games, or maybe 4, that Kickstarted to finish development and package up as a PS3 game.
cool?
So they'll be downloadable, and I think Kickstarter backers get them for like a relatively low price compared to what the final price will be. Johann Sebastian Joust is worth whatever you're going to pay for it alone. I mean, it's awesome if you have a bunch of people around.
And then one last game I want to mention is this weird Japanese game where you have a 2-player game. Each player holds a handle that swivels horizontally.
Okay.
And you smash the handles into each other, and you got to use brute force. So it was like arm wrestling plus Mario Party. Oh, there's
Yo, dog! I heard you like trucks.
trucks on trucks, military trucks over there.
Yeah.
Just drove by. But the idea was that it was like a party game where you have objectives like collect the chickens or run this track, and you're using these levers to push the other person off the track or to pull them into.
So is it a mechanical thing?
It's a mechanical lever.
Oh wow, that's weird.
So it was like, it was like arm wrestling.
So it's like a penny arcade game almost, like the Musée de Mécanique or whatever.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So yeah, that was California Extreme. I recommend people going. Maybe I'm not sure if Saturday or Sunday is a more popular day, but try to find the day when not as many people are there.
From talking to the bomb guys, it seems like the time to go is Saturday. Like go Saturday afternoon and have dinner, and then like
stay real late.
Plan to stay real late, or even get a hotel. Get a room in the hotel, and so you can kind of crash out in the afternoon when it gets busy. If you're looking to buy something, especially if you want something weird, even if people won't have it there, you'll be able to, you'll definitely meet somebody who knows who can, who knows a guy who has what you want in storage. So you just have to go and start talking to people, and our friend Dan Amrick has been helping with that for years, and I mean it's a very inclusive community. So if you want to get into that stuff, all you have to do is show up, pretty much. I mean, bring your checkbook, I guess.
Pinball's big part of American history. Even though there is no pinball at the Smithsonian.
Really?
Nope.
You'd think there would be. There's an arcade exhibit at the Smithsonian. A Pong machine or something, right?
One Pong machine.
Go in the garage, put on some records, play some pinball.
Yeah.
My parents have a pinball machine in their barn. It is it has a scantily clad woman on it from the early 70s. Maybe late 70s, I can't remember. I don't know. I used to fix old not mechanical, but electrical pinball machines when I was in high school because I knew how to solder and use a multimeter. But it's crazy complex now. Once they started adding computerized stuff and all the little, like, the neat thing about the modern machines is all the little one-off mechanical parts, I think, like the magic box on House of Magic, and
yeah, those I think they were called toys.
Is that the technical term?
Yes, they're little animatronic devices.
Well, and that stuff's crazy expensive to make. Anything else, Mr. Chan? You saw Pacific Rim this weekend, I assume.
We all saw Pacific Rim. I don't know if we want to talk about Pacific Rim, because I'm sure a lot of people have not seen it yet.
Yeah, we'll do a spoiler cast with Adam at some point in the not too distant future, I guess.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
It's worth watching. IMAX. I kind of want to go see it again in D-Box.
I don't know if it's playing in D-Box.
It is playing in D-Box.
Well, that would be a very good way to watch it. There's a lot of birds up there.
There's a lot of birds up there. We've seen a coyote. We've seen some buzzards. Feeling like, lots of animals.
A lot of cell phone towers, which is good. Every time I see one of those towers, I know that it's okay to check my phone.
I wish I had one of those vanilla chocolate double stuffed Oreos.
You want a vanilla chocolate double stuffed Oreo?
Well, I mean, if we're on the road, you gotta have road food, right?
Want me to get you one?
Please, Joey.
Should I turn your mic down?
I think we give them the whole experience.
Oh no!
Hey guys, we're eating on the air.
Oh, this really is a drive down.
I should have bought that massive Rice Krispie.
You should have bought that massive Rice Krispie. We saw it was like a whole sheet of Rice Krispie treat, but it was
one package.
In one package, and it looked like it was all together. It was like you just break off a chunk like a piece of styrofoam.
The lady at the 7-Eleven was giving us the hard sell on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said, oh, it's really good. You got to eat it all at once, though. Man, that's...
The top of those just pulls open.
Wow. This is a double stuffed Oreo, but it's also a black and white cookie.
It's vanilla on one side and chocolate on the other.
Good. No thanks. So, we're driving to Comic-Con, and this is Comic-Con 2013. I did the math yesterday. This will be my 9th Comic-Con. Ooh, that's
wow.
A bunch of cows underneath trees.
Look at those cows fighting for shade.
All the pale cows are outside. I guess they reflect more sunlight.
They don't get as hot. Boy, these split vanilla chocolate Oreos are pretty awesome.
This will be my 9th Comic-Con, and I'm going to use this opportunity to recap every single year I've been at Comic-Con. I took copious notes.
I can't take a nap, can I?
You can take a nap while driving.
Okay, let's hear it. How old were you at your first Comic-Con experience?
19 years old.
Wow.
2005.
So was that like the first road trip? Nope. Like the first
Comic-Con?
Going someplace without your parents on a trip kind of thing? Okay.
No. Comic-Con 2005, I drove down with 2 friends to Comic-Con, and we stayed at a Motel 6.
This was 1995?
No, 2005.
Oh, 2005.
Stayed at a Motel 6, 20 minutes from the convention center. Before going, we read the Something Awful thread giving us pro tips on how to do Comic-Con, which recommended we buy bagels before going to Comic-Con, and we brought a cooler. And every morning we would drive and we'd wake up at 6 a.m.
It was tailgated?
and drove into the parking lot to get a parking space in the convention center and eat bagels in the parking lot for breakfast.
Wow.
Before the convention opened.
So when you went in the parking lot, were there just a bunch of Something Awful goons in there eating bagels in the parking lot of the convention center?
The age when you could actually get a parking spot at Comic-Con if you drove in. at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, now that doesn't happen, right?
No way. The big things at Comic-Con I remember that year was the first time I met the Penny Arcade guys
Okay.
in person.
Did you go up and introduce yourself?
I did. I had them draw a sketch. My big thing was I brought a sketchp
That is a popular
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con activity.
and I had the Penny Arcade guys who, if you've been to PAX, there's no way you could get up close to Gabe and Teco.
It would be like going, yeah.
They are superstars, and it is their convention.
Like they walk through and the crowd forms around them,
Right.
and off to the side, lesser celebrities are weeping.
At Comic-Con,
It's more trucks on trucks.
yeah.
It's really weird.
At Comic-Con 2005, Penny Arcade booth practically empty.
So at Comic-Con, one of the things that I like about Comic-Con is people like you can go up and just talk to people. Like even
that. Yeah, most conventions, if they have booths, if they have tables that they rent, then
Yeah.
artists and even the minor celebrities, yeah, totally. Scott Kurtz, they were in the webcomic alley,
Yep.
and they were right across from Scott Kurtz, who I
Isn't he
also
their
met.
mortal nemesis?
I don't know how they feel about each other, but he's the PvP comic dude. Guy
Okay.
who takes
Yeah.
comics kind of seriously. Got a sketch from him as well. And the big movies I remember being promoted there was Doom
Wow.
The
Starring
Doom movie.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
with Carl Urban and The Rock were both there.
Wait, Carl Urban was the Doom guy in Doom?
He was the main.
He was the main character.
Wow, I didn't realize he'd been around that long.
He
I think that was right after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he was
He was just
the
starting to come up.
Rohan, one of the writers.
Was he the main writer, the long-hair writer?
He was a long-haired writer.
He was the dude
Wow.
whose brother was what's his name?
The disgraced brother, the one that got
From Lord of the
kicked
Rings.
out. He was the main. He was not the old guy, but the other main Rohan guy, and not the girl that was crushing hard on what's his name.
His brother
There you
is
go.
the one who got to marry that girl at the end of Return of the King.
Right. Okay. Got it. So he was a supporting Rohan writer.
Yes, he was the
Okay.
one who left
wasn't
the
the-
city with all the riders.
And his other brother was Sean.
Yeah, he wasn't Sean Bean.
Not Sean.
Sean
Sean Bean.
Bean. Yeah,
Sean Bean. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Yeah, Winter's coming.
Boromir.
Yeah. No, Sean Bean was Boromir?
Sean Bean was
It's been a
Boromir.
while.
I thought Sean Bean was. I'm really confused now. Hey, there's horses now this time.
Sean Bean was Boromir.
Okay.
Carl Urban and The Rock were there, and it was the first time that they showed the first-person action footage. I
Yeah.
remember that, what's his name from id Software?
Todd Hollandset?
Todd Hollandset, with the long hair, was there and said, this is something
Yeah.
you've never seen in the movie before. And they showed that first-person sequence in its entirety, and people flipped out.
I enjoyed that
They
scene
were
quite
like,
a
that
bit.
was so awesome.
Did we go see that movie together? I don't think I really knew you.
I watched it with PC Gamer, and we walked out, head shaking.
Oh no, we all went to a preview screening. That's right.
No, we watched it the first day.
I went to a preview screening then.
We paid to watch it.
Yeah, it was really bad.
The big
Wow,
thing
big fire
at
on the left
Comic-Con was that Jack Black was there to promote Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
That was the next year, dude, because I was there
Nope.
that year.
Nope, 2005.
What was Jack Black promoting the next year?
Something else.
School of Rock or something, maybe?
No.
Because
But
I stayed in the hotel with him the next year and rode the elevator with him once or twice, which was really
What was
weird.
that game that came out with him voicing
Brutal
it?
Legend.
Brutal
That was
Legend.
way later.
Later.
so
Yeah.
Jack Black and Tenacious D had the last panel of the day. I believe it was Saturday, and people waited in the Hall H, the entire day because after that panel, they turned it into a concert, and you got a Tenacious D concert at the end of that panel.
That's okay. That's worth waiting all day, I guess. Maybe I don't know.
And it was awesome. And
Did you wait in line all day?
no, because to give you a perspective of how much Comic-Con has changed, Comic-Con is in the San Diego Convention Center, which is a several 100,000 person capacity convention center. It is split into halls that are that you can close or open up, but it's all one big hall for the purposes of Comic-Con. So
Yeah.
it's
Then there's
called
dividers.
A, B,
Yeah.
C, D, E, F, G, and H. H is the last hall all the way in the north end, and that hall is divided up because that's the main presentation hall, for the movies. That hall seats 10,000 people.
It's a lot of people.
And in 2005, before the main movie panels, you could just stroll into Hall H and find a seat.
And this was before your Robert Downey Jr.'s and your Big O Mortensons and your big Hollywood A-list celebrities that show up for concerts. This was just when that was starting.
Was The Rock and Jack Black at Comic-Con 2005. Those are the big stars. Kevin Smith did his Hall H talk. Did a
it was his stand-up thing. His Q&A with Kevin Smith. I mean, that in fairness, at that point, Jack Black was a pretty big star.
He was very big in 2005. Yeah. And so that was
2005.
That was 2005. 2006 went down, stayed in the Motel 6 again.
This was the first year we had a Max PC booth, I think, wasn't it? Or was that 2007?
No, that was 07.
Okay.
06 went again just with friends, and we packed 5 people in a Motel 6 room.
Wow.
No, yeah, 5 people.
Did you guys? Were you the stinky kids that year? You were like bathing and using deodorant and stuff, right?
Yes, deodorant's very important.
Okay.
The big thing I remember, and this is when you could walk up to Comic-Con and register on site.
Yeah.
As press, you could just show them, hey, here's a magazine I work for. Can I get a press badge? Fill out this form. Okay, here's your badge.
Just to give it some reference, if you don't fill out the pre-registration form by the end of last year, then you don't get press
pre-registration
this year
form.
Yeah.
As you're familiar with.
If you need me, I'll have an attendee badge because I said I don't want email from Comic-Con. Fuckers.
The big thing all through Comic-Con that year, 2006, was Heroes.
Oh,
Heroes,
the TV show.
The TV show was in full swing, full promotion.
So was it before the Save the Cheerleader, Save the World nonsense that ruined that show?
That was the first season. So the big promo was there were people dressed as the promo people were dressed as cheerleaders, handing out flyers and comic books and stickers and stuff like that. Now this was, I think, the big year that celebrities really started showing up. And I'm going to call out. I went to all of these panels and I saw all these people. Nick Cage.
At this point, you could just, like, you didn't have to get in line for a panel 2 hours in advance, but it had somebody in it, right?
Maybe an hour, and you could also sit through the whole day.
Yeah.
Nick Cage was there to promote Ghost Rider.
Okay.
It was his first Comic-Con.
Oops.
Spider-Man 3, the entire cast was there.
That's the one with
Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst,
and that guy from Wings.
James Franco. I don't think what's his name?
Hayden something.
Thomas Hayden Church wasn't there, but the girl Ron Howard's daughter was there.
Oh, Bryce
Dallas Howard. She was there. Huge panel. Topher Grace was there, and it was the first reveal of Venom.
Oh, right. Topher Grace was Venom. Man, that movie was bad.
And the Venom in that last shot in the teaser, they show clips from the movie a year before the movie comes out, and people freaked out once again. They gave everyone hats. Everyone got a Spider-Man hat.
So you didn't know that Venom was in the movie until Comic-Con that year?
There were rumors, but that was the confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah. The other big thing that year was Battlestar Galactica was also in full swing.
Oh, that was
BSG.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
But you could easily get into the Battlestar Galactica panel.
So did you see Starbuck or Apollo or
there was Adama,
okay.
Starbuck, and the Chief were there. Those
okay.
ones are and Gaius.
Pretty good haul.
Kevin Smith again was there.
Kevin Smith's
always there. But he doesn't get to do evening with Kevin Smith. He's not big enough to do that anymore at Comic-Con.
Really?
Yeah, they don't. They save that for movie studios.
Wow.
Like, I think you probably have to pay to promote your stuff at Comic-Con.
That's ice cold.
Kevin Smith
built that thing, man.
He just does a podcast. Sam Jackson was there.
Okay. Well, he was probably probably snakes on a plane.
It was snakes on a plane,
like that, right?
That was what it was. Snakes on a plane. It was Sam Jackson and Keenan, the guy from SNL and all that.
Oh, Keenan Weaver.
They actually had live snakes on stage.
Keenan Thompson.
Yeah. And Sam Jackson made a proclamation that he thought that movie was going to be bigger than Spider-Man.
Well,
at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He got up on stage and he said the line. He said, "Got these motherfucking snakes off a motherfucking plane. Everyone ate shit, and everyone had a good time."
I mean, yeah. That movie would have been amazing on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, it was a perfect sci-fi movie.
Borat. So what's his name was there?
Borat in character was there to promote the Borat movie.
Did he wear the monokini?
He was in the suit.
Okay.
Some of the people promoting the movie were wearing that
Gross.
monokini. And they showed the big nude brawl at Comic-Con, which was the best way they could have promoted that movie at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that pretty much told the whole story.
And my favorite panel at Comic-Con 2006 was the movie 300.
Oh, that was
That they debuted footage first at Comic-Con there. Zack Snyder, Gerard Butler, and that other dude from Lord of the Rings who played he's the one of the 300, the only one that survived. Yeah.
What did he play in Lord of the Rings?
The one who lost his eye?
Yeah, the one who loses his eye. He's in Lord of the Rings.
What does
he's
he play
also
in Lord
from
of the
Rohan.
Rings?
I think he's Boromir's brother.
Boromir's brother is not from Rohan.
Yeah.
Boromir's brother,
yes.
Faramir is who you're talking
yeah.
about. Faramir is from
Faramir.
Gondor.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, you're the worst nerd ever, Norm. This is terrible.
You know, Carl Urban was in Lord of the Rings.
Well, mistakes were made. Okay, go ahead.
That was 2006 at Comic-Con.
Wow.
So we're
All of that.
just to be clear, we've been going for like an hour and a half now, and you're into the second Comic-Con.
The second Comic-Con. These are memories.
So this next
I
one,
got photos.
This next one was my first Comic-Con. I think.
2007.
Yeah.
This year I stayed at the Sheraton. This was
Oh, hold on. No, we did have a booth in 2006
maybe.
because you weren't working. You were still an intern.
Yeah, I was still working for.
And I stayed at some little boutique hotel because they decided we were going to be there at the last minute. That was the last year you could get new booths at Comic-Con, basically in 2006. So then, because they grandfather people in, so they don't kick people out who've been there for a long time. And we had a Max PC booth at Comic-Con for just because we could, because our marketing person was clever, I guess.
So 2007 was, I think, the first year that Comic-Con jumped the shark in terms of what they could promote. Because you had, Spider-Man. Makes sense for Spider-Man to be at Comic-Con.
Yeah, of course.
300, absolutely. It's a graphic novel adaptation. Battlestar Galactica, sure. Stinks on a Plane,
For nerds.
kinda, maybe. At 2007, Dane Cook and Jessica Alba were at Comic-Con to promote that movie, Good Luck Chuck.
Oh. Well, Good Luck Chuck was better than Drop Dead Fred.
I never saw that.
It was a low bar.
The Tom Green movie?
Yeah. Okay, so
No, Freddy
wait.
got fingered.
No,
Freddy
Tom
got
Green.
fingered. Oh, right. Oh, that movie was bad. What you got this year, Norm?
2007 was probably the best Comic-Con because it was the first time that they had Iron Man at Comic-Con.
Really? That
and
was
the
that
Hulk.
long ago? Wow. It was
And-
the Ang Lee Hulk, though, right?
No.
Oh,
it
it
was,
was the-
Edward Norton and Liv Tyler
Oh, that
on stage. Liv Tyler was there to promote 2 movies, and the very first thing that someone asked her was, "Could you say something in Elvish?" And she was prepared, and she's, "I knew my publicist told me someone would ask this," and then she said some line in Elvish.
She said my publicist told me someone would ask this?
Yes, she said, I knew someone would ask this. My publicist told me, and so she said a whole line in Elvish.
Wow.
Edward Norton, which I think it was announced.
Were you there? Were you at that panel?
I was at that panel, and Edward Norton announced that he wrote the Hulk movie at that panel.
Oh, right. That was that one.
And it was the first panel with Jon Favreau, Robert Downey Jr. wearing a striped suit, like he always does, and Gwyneth Paltrow, and Terrence Howard
Oh, poor
at Comic-Con. And 2005, 2006, 2007, it was still at a point where if you had a press badge, you could walk up to the stage and take a photo up close in a little press corral area.
Really? They don't let you do that anymore?
No, absolutely not. You can't get anywhere up close
Wow.
to the main stage.
Long lenses.
And 2007 was the LeVar Burton.
The Reading
Encounter.
Rainbow t-shirt. That was the year that you licked the Watchman, the Night Owl.
That was 2008.
Oh, that was 2008.
2007, we stayed at the Sheraton.
2007, you would have had an exhibitor badge, which is the best badge of all.
No, didn't have. That was oh no.
That was 08.
Nah,
You had it in 08 because you licked the Night Owl
So-
before it was open.
2007, we stayed at the same hotel as LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
We were hanging out at the bar. I guess I I turned 21 that year.
It's possible. That was the year that Simpsons movie opened while we were at Comic-Con.
And we watched
that
movie.
with Tom Edwards and got super shit-faced beforehand.
Yes, and at the Sheraton bar,
Yeah.
while over beers, we turned around and saw at the bar, LeVar Burton. I was, oh my God, that's LeVar Burton.
Yes.
But-
and then you had an encounter. You didn't
And then
do it
I
that
did
night.
not say hi to him.
Yes.
Did not approach him. And then
And just to be clear, that was probably best given your level of inebriation. Like, that couldn't have gone well. But then you
knows?
saw him again the next night.
we saw him again next night, and I said, can't miss this opportunity. And so definitely interrupted his conversation to shake his hand. He was wearing a white Reading Rainbow t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I asked him, are you here for Comic-Con?
Wow, really? That was your opener? How'd that go?
He said, no, I'm here for some other convention. And we laughed about it.
That was funny. Yeah, okay, good. That was when his tattoo was new. His LeVar/Kunta tattoo was
Kunta
new.
tattoo.
Yeah.
That was also, you asked if I went to the Hulk and Iron Man panel.
Yes.
That was the year of the Great Ice Cream Incident.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was staying with Chuck Osborne, crashing with him from PC Gamer.
Yep.
And he was there to work a panel, to talk at a panel about some sponsored panel about PC gaming.
Yeah, I had to do that too. It was the worst experience. After that, I said I'm never doing shit like that again, and I haven't. It's been very nice.
And I did not do the panel because I wanted to see Iron Man and the Hulk.
Yep, you were supposed to be the third chair on the panel.
And I
you
said,
left us hanging.
I said, Edward Norton is here and Robert Downey Jr. is here.
You were the only person who had played the game in question. So it was me and the dude from the publisher and Chuck and an
I don't
empty
think any
chair
of us
where
had
you were
played.
supposed to
I don't
sit.
think any of us had
You
played
had played the game
in question.
because they used to send you to because it was not a particularly good game, and they used to send you to do the bad games that nobody else wanted to do. I remember it was a horrible. So I told you that Chuck was incredibly pissed off at you.
And so afterward, Will said that Chuck
No, Tom did this. This wasn't me. Tom was much meaner than I am.
was incredibly pissed off.
Yeah.
Never seen him as angry.
I'd never seen Chuck angry before.
I've never seen him. He's a happy dude.
He's a gentle giant.
So after getting drinks at the bar, I walked the streets of San Diego looking for an apology cake.
You were afraid to go back to the room.
to the hotel room.
Yeah.
And so
You were like, "Can I sleep on your couch?" And Tom was like, "No, you can't sleep on our couch." It was really funny.
could not find cake.
No. So you got him an ice cream cake.
So I got him an ice cream cake. An apology ice cream cake, which I put
You put it on his bed.
on his bed with a note. And I went to bed, and in the morning, I saw that the ice cream cake had melted and pushed off to the side, and it was refused.
So then you needed an apology cake for the apology cake. At least the ice cream didn't melt into the bed.
No.
That would have been really bad.
And it turned out that he was not pissed at all.
No, not at all.
He just didn't know why there was ice cream on his pillow.
Right. That was a fun time.
Then 2008.
So the 2008 was the first year you shot at Costume Gallery, I think, for us.
That
wasn't it?
was the first year taking cosplay seriously. By comparison, in 2005, I counted, I only took 34 photos.
They're pretty good photos.
No, they were terrible photos.
What did you shoot? You shot with our 40D or something, right?
Not in 2005.
Oh, we didn't have the 40D yet. You shot with something of your
2008,
own.
it was a 40D.
Or you borrowed your friend's Rebel or something. I can't even remember.
So 2008, I went with Nathan Edwards. We stayed at the Westin. So every year it's moving closer to where we're staying. And this was when we got the exhibitor badge.
Was that the year that I had the Pimp Suite? Or was that the next year?
That was the next year.
Okay.
That was 2009. And you're right, there was the big movie there was Watchmen.
Yep.
They had the owl ship
Night Owl.
at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
The big ship.
What's his name? Archimedes.
And you could actually go inside. Well, they wouldn't let people inside, but we got to walk inside because it was before it was open. It was all lit up, and it was the set that they shot in.
Yep.
For the ship, had working LCDs and buttons. It was gorgeous. I licked it.
You did lick it. What did it taste like?
It tasted like a piece of metal.
Okay. Was it metal or was it fiberglass? Metal?
I think it was fiberglass.
Okay.
I don't know if I definitely went to the Watchmen panel, but that was the first year where they didn't let people with press badges cut in line anymore.
Yeah.
And you actually had to wait in the full line.
And that line for Hall H is brutal because it's all out in the sun. It's outside.
Yes.
You're out sweating your ass off and getting a horrible sunburn. And then once you get in there, then like there's no food or drinks or anything to speak of.
You could walk in. They have like a small food cart outside of
I guess
Hall
that's
H
true. Yeah.
for you to hot dogs and water. That was it.
So that people don't die.
The other big movie they were promoting there was Star Trek.
Oh, the Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto,
And
was reboot.
there was a big thing that I remember for that year was that one of the promos was you could win a bag, like a shoulder bag, a Star Trek Federation shoulder bag, which I wanted more than anything in the world.
Hold on, did we not talk about the Dark Knight stuff the year before?
Then Dark Knight was never. That was.
They
Dark
did that
Knight-
off-site thing that was awesome.
That might have been
all-day scavenger hunt.
That might have been
Maybe even
2008
before.
as well.
But that was amazing because you saw
Yeah.
people walking around with like what you knew later was Joker face paint. I guess you kind of knew it was Joker face paint then. But they had this scavenger hunt where people had to paint their faces and go all over town and collect stuff.
And they used skywriting. So Warner Brothers didn't pay to be a part of the panel, to do a Dark Knight panel.
Right.
Instead of this viral thing where they had an airplane fly with a message.
Yes.
And then people would unearth clues to join the Joker gang. And if you did everything, at the end, you got one of those Joker masks.
It was really cool. One of the ones from the opening scene of Dark Knight.
Yep. But I did the Star Trek hunt instead, and it was a matter of collecting these cards to build a crew. And if you build, it was like the Monopoly game from McDonald's, where you had to find out one rare card. But once you got that, you got a bag.
And you got them by going to panels and going to different booths and stuff.
Go to different booths, and then they hand out these attendees wearing Star Trek outfits would hand out cards.
Joey, it sounds like you're eating food back there. I want to report.
My mic's off.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But that was 2008. That's basically all I remember from 2008. That's when you had your. Oh no, next year. Okay, so 2009, which I don't think I have any pictures from 2009 because I was going through and I didn't remember a single thing.
You took pictures in 2009, though.
I did, but I didn't. I don't have them saved.
Oh.
2009, we stayed at the Hyatt, which is the second closest hotel
Yeah.
to the convention.
And
Marriott's the closest one.
And that year, my wife was doing work, had done a lot of work with them, and called her friend who works there and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in. You want to have dinner or something while I'm in town?" And she said, "Oh yeah, sure." And then when I checked into the hotel, like the manager came out and escorted me up to the room, which you check into hotels a lot. I've never been escorted to a room for a hotel, and it was this amazing suite. Anyway, corn nuts.
What did you call it? The Oprah?
It was the Oprah suite. Yeah, how are your corn nuts? Pretty good?
I don't like corn nuts. I'm remembering.
I got the barbecue flavor, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
Yeah.
They're good for the road.
The beef jerky's good.
Beef jerky's strong. Yeah, it had 2.5 bathrooms. That
His
suite.
and her bathrooms.
And it had a tub and a shower and a dining room / boardroom and a living room, and like a secretary area. Like there was a place for your assistant to sit. It was crazy.
Bidet?
No bidet. This is America, man.
So this year they actually set up tents outside
For the
lines for Hall H.
Yeah.
And this is the line that we all waited in to try to get into Iron Man 2's panel, but then never got into because Gina wanted to see Robert Downey Jr.
Gina did want to see Robert Downey Jr. And the Iron Man, in retrospect, I think we probably all dodged a bullet there. We did see Kevin Smith, though. That might have been the last year he did the Saturday night thing.
It was there. The Kevin Smith was, I think, maybe that was the Kick-Ass panel.
Yeah.
Right after the Kick-Ass panel.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably right. Because Michael Cera wasn't there, but no, Michael Cera was there, wasn't he?
That might have been the Scott Pilgrim movie.
That was 2010.
Yeah.
2010 was Scott Pilgrim.
I didn't go 2010 because I didn't see Scott Pilgrim.
So,
That was the first whiskey.
yeah. So
Yeah.
in 2009, Iron Man 2 was the big movie. The big signs for it everywhere. The other big movie, Avatar. It was the 2009 Avatar year.
2009 was also the year that those girls, the roller derby girls, were all around handing out flyers for Drew Barrymore's roller derby movie.
Yes. Yep.
Whip
That's
it.
right. Yep. And Avatar was the first time we saw the movie, or clip from the movie in 3D. Was at Comic-Con.
Okay.
That was the year that I somehow ended up at the Avatar party with James Cameron.
That was because they released that game,
It was
wasn't
for
it?
the Ubisoft party.
Yeah.
And it was at the top of this hotel. And I remember distinctly standing around a fire pit with two other people and James Cameron and Sigourney Weaver was walking around.
Did you ask him if he was there for Comic-Con?
No, I didn't do that. I asked him what he wants to do with 3D.
Okay.
What did he say?
and he used his Wizard of Oz analogy.
You mean the color analogy?
The color analogy.
Oops.
But
so the thing I'm taking away so far is that most of the stuff that launches at Comic-Con ends up being really super shitty.
the good thing to take away is that Comic-Con is more about enjoying the sizzle before the movie and not the actual movie
So
itself.
it's about anticipation.
Yes, it's all about hype.
Huh.
Comic-Con is one big hype fest.
So for me, Comic-Con, I just go around and find people who make cool T-shirts and buy a bunch of T-shirts.
You can do that. There's something for everyone.
That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of neat, like you can talk to artists that you may or may not like, and they're usually pretty accessible.
Book of Eli was also in 2009. Gary was there. He got to sit in front.
No, wait, dude. Book of Eli was last year. Oh, no, you're right. Book of Eli was last 2009.
Book of Eli, not after Earth.
Yeah, I'm seeing about that.
Book of Eli. Gary Oldman was there. That's when I think he kind of spilled the beans on when they would be shooting the next movie. He said like the big takeaway from the Book of Eli panel was Gary Oldman saying, "Oh, we're going to shoot the movie next summer for Dark Knight Rises."
Oh, right.
It's kind of sad for Book of Eli.
Was that before? That was after Heath Ledger died, right?
Yes, it was after Dark Knight had come out.
Okay. Sorry. It says it accelerates into the people that are seemingly not braking but slowing down.
At least we have this Russian dash cam if anything goes
Yeah.
we do.
Hopefully there's a meteor or something. Okay, so...
And then it was also the final Lost panel.
Is this 2010 or
2009.
Okay.
The final Lost panel, which also was in Hall H. One of the most memorable panels I've ever been to at Comic-Con. They produced this whole scripted thing where they showed off, they gave out, if you're a Lost fan, they revealed so much. They poked fun at heroes. They had like video clips of the alternate universe in Lost that they gave hints of before you saw that first season 5 premiere.
By the way, spoilers if you've not watched Lost.
Yes. And it was hilarious and great. I think there's some clips of it online, but that was wonderful. That was probably my favorite year of Comic-Con.
The neat thing about Comic-Con is that you see stuff that usually, like sometimes you get like a shaky cam footage of whatever happened in a panel or something, but you oftentimes see stuff that never gets shown anywhere else.
That's the idea. They don't.
Yeah.
It's exclusive to people who
It's a really weird
paid
factor.
and wait in line.
It's for the otaku.
Sipping on some coffee, 7-Eleven coffee.
Are we getting, I don't know, let's see, what time do we leave 7-Eleven? 11-ish? So we probably have another hour, I would guess. Is the place we're going on this side of Bakersfield or the other side of Bakersfield? know?
It's to the northeast.
Okay, so it's this side of Bakersfield.
Okay, 2010. It's the first year with Joey.
I didn't go this
It's
year.
my first Comic-Con.
Yeah. I have a photo of young Joey with all the
Yeah,
other
Joey.
Comic Vine crew wearing Comic Vine t-shirts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had those t-shirt giveaways.
You guys kidded. I noticed you're waving the flag today. I appreciate that.
Not sure.
Wearing the colors.
This year I actually did not stay close. I stayed in a place far away with some friends again. And it was Captain America and Thor, one of the big movies being promoted at Comic-Con, which is great for Comic Vine. And Tony and Sarah got to do interviews with Chris Evans and got up close. Hugo Weaving was there.
You got to talk to Chris Helmsworth?
He was there, but I don't think they did any interviews with him. It was the year before Walking Dead.
Now, just,
TV show.
But just think about this for a minute, because that Thor trailer, I remember people hated the Thor footage that was shown at Comic-Con that year. And that movie ended up being pretty good.
I think it's divisive. I think some people really
Well, it looked real...
don't like that movie. I thought it was good.
I thought I was entertained. Were you not entertained, Joey?
No, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
They didn't have anything from Captain America, though, because they had barely begun shooting that movie.
That was the first of the... I guess Iron Man 2 was the first of the Marvel Studios.
That's when they really started rolling with that stuff.
Yeah.
So they had a huge booth. Marvel had this huge booth, which was Odin's throne room
That's right.
for Thor, because that movie came out in May before Captain America in July.
So then, sorry, when they do that stuff, are they taking like the movie props and putting them in Comic-Con, or
They
are
are
they
building
making fakes?
specific ones for
Okay.
Comic-Con.
I kind of figured as much.
I mean, there's-
although sometimes like the Iron Man armor that they show there every year is
No, they have rotating, they have made a couple dozen of those.
Okay.
That they sent around to different events.
Okay.
For mall openings and Disneyland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's no one maybe back in 2005 or 6 when they had the Ironmonger armor or the Iron Man Mark 1, that was the actual one, but not nowhere like the one you've seen in pictures at Comic-Con last year.
That's just one.
That
of
was
many.
just
It's not the one that actually flies and shoots lasers and stuff.
or the ones that had anything to do with the movie.
Okay.
Purely promotional material.
Was this the Avengers panel as well?
No. Oh.
Was this the year that dude got stabbed in the eye?
Wait, what?
It might have. That might have been the year after.
Someone in Hall H.
You're right. It might have been the Avengers year.
I vaguely remember that being the year.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
They got them all on stage for the first time, and then I think right before someone got stabbed.
The only way that they could have got all the Avengers there was when they had Captain America and Thor to promote.
Yeah.
And so that's when they announced Joss Whedon was directing it.
That's when they announced him, and they also brought in Hawkeye guy.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, yeah.
And Mark Ruffalo.
Was Scarlett Johansson
Oh,
there?
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson was definitely there. Because you know why Scarlett Johansson was there? Because Ryan Reynolds was still married to Scarlett Johansson, and he was there promoting Green Lantern in 2010.
Wow.
That was the big Warner Brothers movie.
Yep. That movie also sucked.
Sucked balls. There was a nice moment at that panel, though, where a kid went up and asked Ryan Reynolds to recite the Green Lantern oath, and he did so with gusto.
Well, I mean, his publicist told him they were going to ask.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Norm, can you recite the Green Lantern oath?
Brightest day and darkest night.
Do it in Elvish.
Evils shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
That's pretty good. I don't know if I would call that with gusto, but we'll let it slide.
2010, the big movies: Captain America, Thor, Walking Dead. This is before anyone had seen any footage. They had the very first footage, which I remember distinctly on that Sunday, the very last day. They showed it in front of that fake. They had a fake set built out with the guy who blew his head out.
You can go walk in and take pictures.
Of this post-apocalyptic zombie scene.
Yeah.
And I was standing there and I was watching that footage, and I was like, this is going to be an amazing TV show.
At that point, there was still question about whether there'd be blood and stuff like that, though, right?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't remember seeing blood. It was when Frank Darabont was still involved. So.
Wow. Well, he was involved all through the end of the first season, right?
Yeah. But
so it's 144 miles to Bakersfield. That doesn't sound right.
It's going to be that long. My favorite viral movie promo event was for Tron Legacy.
Okay.
Now, 3 years before this, they had given us the very first look at Tron Legacy, kind of the test footage shown at Comic-Con.
That was like the picture of old Jeff.
It was a whole
motorcycle race through the mountains.
It was a scene that was never in the final Tron movie.
Okay.
It was a light cycle race from Tron Legacy, like a really nice one, but it was Flynn.
I think that's on the DVD.
Maybe it's
or
on the
Blu-ray.
DVD. Yeah. And you had old Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And everyone freaked out, and so they decided to make that into a movie.
But you hadn't seen new Jeff Bridges yet, right?
They had him through a visor.
Yeah, I think at the very end his visor opens up and
Yeah, but
Okay.
you didn't have the full 3D rendered head. To promote Tron Legacy, Disney set up this elaborate scavenger hunt again, where you were given clues, hints from Flynn, stuck still in the Tron world, and you had to find Flynn's arcade, and they had rented out the space in downtown San Diego to make it a full arcade.
That's awesome.
And if you eventually found it, you got to go inside, and it was a party and a big arcade, and then the back wall flipped, where the Tron arcade, and it flipped, and it had the new light cycle.
Were you
behind
there?
The wall. No, I didn't get to
Oh.
go. I just saw pictures.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And so that was super, super cool. That was 2010.
I like that movie.
Any other memories, Joey, from 2010?
I don't remember 2010 besides some of the panels, a lot of interviews. I was with Comic Vine at the time. Just run around everywhere.
So what's Comic-Con like? When those guys go, it's just boatloads of interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
the way we did it, because it was Anna and I at the time, going to with the teams basically. Me and Tony would run around and just each have agendas throughout the day and just shoot tons of interviews and coverage.
And is it like something like Tony would see somebody walking down a hall and then you just run over and flag them down?
No, it's
more scheduled.
It's a little more like these guys are going to be here.
Okay.
They don't. A lot of them don't do scheduled interviews, so it's you walk over like, hey, how you doing? Do you have a minute or two at some point?
Gotcha.
And then they're like, hey, come back at 9:15. Like, all right.
Gotcha.
So it's exhausting. It was always an exhausting convention.
Well, it's real long days too because it opens early and it runs late, and yeah.
And by 2010, like I mean, Norm probably knows better, but it felt like it has overgrown the convention hall. Like just so many people walking around with camera equipment is.
So yeah, when I started going in 2007 or so, it felt full, but it didn't really feel that much fuller than like big E3 or CES did at the time. But by the time I went back, because last year was the first time I'd been back since 2009, I was stunned. It's terrifying now. It's
E3 is spacious now compared to
yeah. I mean, it's
and it was the right time
press.
Where camera equipment got cheaper, and so people just brought more people brought cameras, more people brought video gear.
Well, and there's a lot of blogs, and they're all getting credentials, and yeah.
And so you had not only a greater awareness of Comic-Con, but more people going to cover Comic-Con in all its different capacities.
So 2011, Norm.
2011. This year, we planned out real well. We stayed at a nice Omni Hotel.
Now this was you came down with us as
Yes.
Comic Vine, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and I stayed with Daniel Meisner
Did you go in 2010 as for work or for fun?
for fun.
Okay. You still took pictures?
Yes. This... I don't remember too much of 2011.
This was the first. I mean, this was the last year that we went.
Yeah, with
Comic Vine.
I remember
We had that
drinking a lot
little-
at the bar at the hotel.
We had that Airbnb. I think Tony and Anna stayed at an Airbnb, like a little condo.
Yeah,
That Captain America.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. But yeah, the cosplayer got us.
The guy that does the awesome Captain America cosplay, among other things.
Yeah, that was like Comic Vine and Tony kind of getting a little more recognition, so we got to go into some fun areas and do some high profile interviews. I think we did like Starbuck, and
That was a good year for Comic Con, as I recall.
yeah, that was a really good year. I had to leave early. I had a wedding, but you guys stayed the entire week.
That was the year that Anna and I did a video where we tried to find the most expensive, nicest things at Comic-Con that people could buy.
I remember that.
Including the ZF-1. So that was the first time I got to hold that ZF-1 from Fifth Element.
You drinking and driving, Will?
Yeah, I'm drinking and driving. It's cool. I was going to put that there. Here, hand me that. Thank you.
Disney did a big movie. See, at this point, I had stopped going to movie panels because it was impossible to get in.
I think Rory was doing that load pretty
Yeah.
rough.
Oh God, I forgot. Rory sat in Hall H for like 10 hours straight.
This was the
every
second
day,
year,
right?
yeah. I think him and Matt Effering.
Oh,
They
my
would
God.
get there early in the morning and they just couldn't leave. They had to just sit there.
Well, because if you left the room, you lost your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom Pinchuk was there to try to cover movie panels, theoretically, and he couldn't even get in for like the Walking Dead panel. But movies I remember at 2011, Alice in Wonderland was a big thing.
The Johnny Depp Tim Burton one?
Yep. Marvel had an Avengers. Avengers didn't have a panel, but they had this big setup. Was the helicarrier?
The Shield, yeah.
The Shield helicarrier was there.
Did Avengers come out in 2011 or 2012?
2012. So this
Okay.
is the year before to promote the Avengers coming out the year after.
Yeah.
And Marvel does this interesting thing, which is really smart, which is that even though they have a big booth and a big setup, they roll out props and to tease at random times. So for the Thor one in 2010, it was Odin's stage. They would actually, at one point, open up behind Odin's throne and have the Destroyer prop.
Oh, that's cool. So there's like moments in the day when you can come and see that?
just for like 15 minutes. That's it.
The destroyers are those big things that blew up that shitty little town in
Yes.
Mexico. Okay.
And they had some of his prizes from his treasure room, the Gauntlet.
Okay.
And then for Avengers, they brought out the shield, Captain America's shield, and they had a bunch of things that you'd only get. They would only roll out for a little bit. But I think the biggest thing there. I don't remember what else.
Is that Scott Pilgrim kind of doing the screenings, little select screenings around?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the year Scott Pilgrim came out, wasn't it?
Maybe 2010 was Scott Pilgrim, I want to say.
Oh yeah.
Hey Joey, would you pass me the corn nuts and kill my mic for a minute?
Yeah.
I don't remember much of 2011.
It was a hectic year.
It was a hectic year. It was a year that we went and got lunch in this really bad place and saw Felicia Day walk in also get lunch.
That's right,
We
yeah.
wanted, we wanted sandwiches to go, and they sat us down and
We-
wait half an hour to get sandwiches to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we
That
waited
was-
a long time.
Yeah. Was that the year there was a Walking Dead maze? Maybe that was last year. In Petco Park.
last year.
But yeah, that was a little bit of a blur.
Yeah.
And then that brings us to 2012 last year,
Ugh, yeah.
which is still kind of fresh in our memory.
Kind of. Yeah. It was definitely the most different of the Comic-Cons that I've ever. I've only been to 3, but
We went with Adam, so it was a lot of hanging out with Adam in his room in a unnamed hotel. His room was awesome in that he got to set up all his cosplay in that room, so he had to pick out what he wanted to wear that day. So we got to walk the floor as Rocketeer, as No Face, as the Ring Wraith. We got to see Woodstock, which is the first time we had to see that. Hang out afterward at Woodstock when we got to go to the after party with Geek and Sundry, which we bumped into John Drake for that, and saw Joss Whedon at a party.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Walk right past them in the party.
I need to get my hair cut a little bit shorter.
A little shorter.
Bring the beard in a little bit, maybe.
Again, I have no idea what movies were being promoted last year at Comic-Con.
they
I do.
started showing off some Pacific Rim stuff there. I remember the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro was there doing interviews. I think Comic Vine got a couple.
Remember they had the big billboard on the Marriott that was for Defiance.
Oh, yes.
But when you came up from the wrong street, it just looked like it said fiance.
Yes.
They must have been pushing.
Marvel had Iron Man 3, so his
Yeah.
Hall of Armor, 7 armors, plus the new one in the middle. Or
They have.
42.
Did they make like Hulkbusters and stuff like that, or were those all just CG?
That was all CG. They just had the gold one, the really matte gold one.
Yeah.
We went and saw Gary's panel.
We
Did
did.
see Gary's panel. I met
which
Will
was
Smith's
right-
brother-in-law.
We saw Gary's panel, which was packed with Adventure Time fans because it was right before the
Yes.
Adventure Time panel. They gave out donuts.
I don't think I knew what Adventure Time was at that point.
There are a lot of things at Comic-Con where, if you go certain years, you see people and wear the same type of cosplay, but you never know what it's for until you really look it up. And some of it's really small webcomics or really big webcomics, but niche webcomics.
Yeah, yeah.
I still don't know. People with the white face paint and the horns, and they all look like
I thought that was an anime thing.
Maleficents from Sleeping Beauty, and I have no idea, but it's from webcomics.
So that's one of the things that always amazes me about watching you take photos at Comic-Con, is because I'm reasonably dialed into this stuff, but I don't know. Once you get down below relatively mass market, I'm completely lost. When you see a costume, maybe not all of them, but probably 8 or 9 out of 10, you call the character by his name and direct him to pose the way you want him to pose, and that's amazing. You have deep recall on some esoteric random ass characters, because that's what you see stuff at Comic-Con that you would never expect to see a costume for. I mean, Adventure Time's probably a bad example because that's a pretty easy costume, I would think. But
So,
yeah, it's good.
what's going into your 2013 journal?
Well, we don't know yet.
Well, we're driving down to Comic-Con.
We're driving down to Comic-Con.
Well, what is your anticipation? What are we doing? What are we doing down there?
So they're going to be promoting Captain America and the new Thor again.
Are those going to get numbers, or are they going to be subtitled?
Subtitle.
Okay.
Thor: The Dark World and
The Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, Captain America.
Will Ant-Man be here?
Probably not. Edgar Wright is probably still promoting
End of the world?
World's End.
World's End.
It'll always be interesting to drive into Comic-Con and see what the big, like, every year, you know, the companies like Defiance and Scott Pilgrim, they
wrap a hotel.
Wrap an entire hotel building with one giant poster, and that's like the biggest thing that they're going to promote. And so it'll be interesting to see what's promoted there.
Have either of you watched that Defiance thing?
No.
Yeah.
I think my housemate watched it and said it was all right. I don't know. It'll be a nice surprise to see. I think Walking Dead will be big again this year. It's always fun to see what small like, ABC TV shows they're promoting.
You mean like Secret Life of a Teenager? Or
well, you know, like Flash Forward when they were doing that. Back in the age of like serial, weird Lost-like shows, they had all those like serialized.
Yeah, the post-24, post-Lost.
Like mystery shows.
Yeah. Well, what's the one? Person of interest and all that
Person of
kind of
interest.
stuff.
Yep, that's all going to be there. They have big panels for those.
They even have like procedural crime show panels sometimes, don't they? I mean, the reason this happens is because it's an hour-and-a-half drive from LA, so people who are shooting TV shows can just hop in a limo down in the morning, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Big Bang Theory is massive at Comic-Con.
Yep. Jamie and Adam are doing a panel.
Yep. It's always nice to see what cosplay trends there are.
What do you think the big costume's going to be this year?
I can tell you that after Watchmen, there were a ton of Watchmen stuff. The dominant cosplay in terms of female cosplay, it's always going to be Poison Ivy and Harlequin are the big ones every year.
Batman villains. Slave Leia's kind of fading in popularity.
Yeah, not too many Slave Leias. I think Poison Ivy was popular because there are so many variations that you could do of Poison Ivy.
Same thing for Harley Quinn.
You can do the video game, you can do animated series.
Pepper Potts. That's my
Didn't see it.
That's my
Pepper
guess.
Potts is a rough. Oh, you mean like a girl in Iron Man armor?
Iron Man 3, Pepper Potts somewhere. That's somewhere this week.
Oh.
I gotta think real hard. Definitely went through a Halo phase. Halo stuff will always be there, but that stuff never stands out too much.
Pacific Rim suits.
Too soon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Pacific Rim. Definitely a lot of after Sucker Punch came out, a lot of Sucker Punch cosplay.
Yeah.
You know, after we mentioned Sucker Punch last time, I was directed to a movie, a video on, I want to say The Escapist, about why everyone's wrong about Sucker Punch.
Oh, I think the guys at Slash Film put that together, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be about a satire about
Like, yeah.
feminine.
Here's why this movie is actually genius.
Well, no, it's more here's what this movie was trying to do and failed at really badly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, same thing applies. It's still not a good movie. Anyway, sorry. I bet we'll see a lot of
We did see a lot of Johnny Depp's in all his incarnations.
like
So
Jack
not just
Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow's, but also Willy Wonka's, and
Scissorhands?
also I haven't seen many Edward Scissorhands, but a lot of Mad Hatter Johnny Depp's.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, you might want to look at directions just so we don't.
I'm actually supposed to call the dude that we're meeting soon, but I want to do that when we're done with this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'll see a lot of Iron Man armor. I mean, it's a tough costume, but at this point, it's pretty well established.
It's easy it's ever been.
Yeah, it is the easiest it's ever been. You always see a lot of stormtroopers and Boba Fett's.
The hybrid stuff is always good. A lot of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is
Doctor Who will
very,
be big
very
this year.
popular.
How about,
I bet you'll see some Sherlocks, some Cumberbatch Sherlocks.
Maybe.
More Doctor Who's for sure.
You guys think you'll see any, shucks, the Last of Us duo?
Joel and Ellie.
Joel and Ellie. I think
That might be too subtle.
I think we'll see at least one duo.
Probably. Well, there's new rules too about like if I had an 8-year-old daughter, that's a Deadbringer costume. Like that's a piece of cake costume. I think we'll see more Like, I don't know what video game stuff we'll see this year. Like, usually you see some TF2 people.
Some Tomb Raiders, some Lara Crofts.
Yeah, we saw some amazing Left 4 Dead guys in, I think, 2009 that were just mind-boggling. Like, the guy had a tank costume that was like all articulated arms and stuff like that. It was amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's been big enough this year to warrant costumes. Like, it was kind of a bad year for that, because like the movies that have been big didn't have real obvious costumes, at least to date. I think we'll see a lot of Pacific Rim armor next year. That's my guess. You usually see some Master Chiefs.
Or some Spartans, yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll see some Mass Effect folks, almost certainly. The Disney princesses will be there. The inappropriate Disney princesses.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gina and I talked about making a Yoda Luke Skywalker costume for the baby.
Yeah.
So that, like, she can be Yoda up on my back.
We want to take 198.
198. How far is it?
It's going to be in... I can't really tell.
What does it say to the next turn?
Hold on, I need to get actual directions.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun. It goes by too fast. There's a lot of anxiety going up to it, and then once you get there...
You still have anxiety about it?
Absolutely.
I mean, at this point, you've done it enough that I would think, like, you're you know, the question is, how many pictures do you get, and can you get good stuff, and is it too crowded to take pictures in the main hall, which it is, I think, probably now.
19 miles.
19 miles. Okay, thanks. 128.
198.
198. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I gotta feel like, you know, there's not a whole lot of wild cards. It's not like going to CES where if we don't have good internet, then the live show doesn't work, and, you know, is the hotel room going to be facing the right way and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Last year I was just in for 2 days, and I didn't really get to see anything. So
it is there for work. It's a work event,
of course.
So that's it for Comic-Con. Before Comic-Con.
Before Comic-Con.
That's our Comic-Con coverage. We're heading home.
That's the
been a good run, guys.
recap.
Anything you're looking forward to seeing aside from costumes and stuff going on?
I gotta figure out what movies I want to be excited about next year. Like, I get my finger on the pulse of the next Elysium.
Are you excited about Elysium?
I'm excited about Elysium.
I kind of am too, now that I saw some...
The trailer that they ran before Pacific Rim was really good.
Yeah.
It looks very Blomkamp.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I guess that's it for us.
I mean, there's a whole list of panels I can go through if I've...
Emails. Can you go to email? Do you get those emails?
I do not get those emails.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So say we could take some questions, but we're not going to. Any big predictions? Do you think both Captain... I mean, at this point, it seems like Marvel's making B-tier movies to feed into the Avengers, right?
Avengers 2. The script's apparently done for Avengers 2.
And Whedon's attached and all that?
Whedon's... He's written it, and he is directing it.
Are they going to show Star Wars stuff here?
So, Star Wars is very interesting. Disney saved Star Wars for D23.
Which is the Star Wars...
Which is the Disney fan conference.
Disney Fan Con, okay.
And even though Disney owns Marvel, Comic-Con has always been Marvel and Disney stuff. I mean, Star Wars has a booth. It's just never... It's always...
Well, it's always like props and memorabilia and stuff.
It's been compressed of late. A lot of Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, that movie's supposed to hit in 2015, right? So this is the year that you would see it traditionally. Because usually they debut stuff 2 years out. So I
want to say next year. Unless there's a big surprise for Star Wars this year.
What if the big surprise is that Billy D. Williams is on stage?
I think the last thing I heard was that for D23 this year, they're trying to make the original cast announcements for D23, but that would require slimming up on Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher's part.
Oh, damn.
The studio has paid for
Fat camp?
for fitness experts.
Oh man, that's brutal. I mean, those guys, they're not even young anymore. They're grandparents.
But there is a particular you can age gracefully, as
I guess
some
that's true.
actors have done.
Well, Harrison Ford's worked at it for 30 years.
Yes.
Huh. That's interesting. So yeah, that might preclude that. But they haven't announced any kind of casting or anything like that aside from the original. Is Harrison Ford attached?
They have not announced any casting whatsoever.
Wow. And so the stuff that's come out has been a result of actors running their mouths?
And casting sheets.
Okay. Anthony Daniels is on board, though, right? We get C-3PO and Kenny Baker. That's got to happen.
I don't know. I'm going to go through the Comic-Con website, quickly call out any the program guide. Oh God, this. I mean, they really call out every day what's happening. You can plan it out pretty well if you like plan it in advance and figure out your schedule. Hall H is what I'm going to search for.
That website's really bad.
It is a bad website. Oh, wow. I mean, actors of all calibers and celebrity are going to be at Comic-Con.
Of course. Is Peter Dinklage going to be there? Is there Game of Thrones stuff?
There is going to be a Game of Thrones panel, but I do not believe that they'll have the major actors.
Will they have George R.R. Martin?
He is typically at Comic-Con.
I gotta imagine people are really pissed off about the Red Wedding still, so like he probably has security and stuff. What I'm also really looking forward to people commenting on my driving. That's good. That'll be fun. So please, if you like my driving, please let us know. If you don't, then I don't care. That's cool too. Anything for you, Joe? Anything you're looking forward to? Like, this is a weird show for you because it's like we shoot a few days and then you're pretty loose to go either cut video or go walk around and see stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, these kind of things, I just like being surprised. And I just going with it, I guess, of the entire town of San Diego coming to life for this.
Yeah.
It's always a lot of fun.
Yep.
The 10 must-see movie panels,
According
to Crave Online, they did the work so we didn't have to.
Nice. Thanks, Crave Online.
As long as this page loads.
Pretty good list so far. What's number one, Norm?
I'm going to predict it's Ninja Turtles. No, it's not Ninja Turtles. Even though
There's a new Ninja Turtles?
there's a new Ninja
Is
Turtles.
Michael Bay still attached
Hold
to
on.
it?
He is producing it, not directing it, and it is starring Megan Fox.
Is new? She's April
That's
O'Neil.
right.
So is it live action or is it
It is
animated
live action
turtles?
with animated turtles. So all
the
the production,
turtles are CGI.
all the production photos have been of dudes wearing like giant rubber shells with CG markings on them, with tracking markings on them.
Gotcha.
And they are still not teenage, right?
What, they're preteen? Tweenage?
There was a big letter that went out
I think it's called TMNT.
with Michael Bay saying, like, we're rebranding this as Ninja Turtles. This is not for the teenage. This isn't like the teenage version of these guys. And
So they're not going to be sassy.
They're aliens.
Oh,
Really? They're not? They're
And then-
not
I think they've
Everybody
come around.
flipped out on that, and
Well, he's already ruined Transformers, so why not go for this next? And then after that, there's Mask. Or maybe G.I. Joe. Wait, no, G.I. Joe's already ruined. The G.I. Joe movie came out finally, didn't it?
It did come out finally.
Wow. I missed that entirely.
It was a banner year for The Rock.
Oh, right, he played Sergeant Slaughter. No. Bruce Willis played G.I. Joe and he played Sergeant Slaughter, is that right? I can't even remember.
The Rock was in Fast 6 and G.I. Joe.
Now, Fast 6, that's a movie.
This page is still not loading, so I don't know what the panels
I think
are.
we should punt. I think that's it. So yeah, that's our Comic-Con podcast for This Is Only a Test. We'll be back next week with a regular show. Norman Chan, Joey Fameli.
Godzilla.
Oh, there's another Godzilla, really?
Metallica. What?
There's a Metallica panel? Are you sure you're not talking about pinball machines again?
What? No way.
ride the lightning.
This is terrible.
It is Metallica. What?
I'm gonna have so many license
Hunger
plates on
Games?
this video. Oh, Hunger
I
Games.
skipped. I omitted the whole Twilight. Twilight came and went in the past 9
You
years
know,
of Comic-Con.
the most important thing to me about Twilight that was said at Comic-Con was something that Kevin Smith said. And I think he was directing it at all the angry 15-year-old boys who were pissed off that there were a bunch of 14-year-old girls into Twilight at Comic-Con. But his point, which when I say it is going to sound super creepy, was valid in that a bunch of 15-year-old Twilight fans in 3 or 4 years will be 18 and 19-year-old kids who come to Comic-Con, and that opens a whole new world for Comic-Con. So be not cruel to the Twilight and Hunger Games kids. They're people too.
And their moms.
And their moms.
Captain America: The World's End, Veronica Mars, which makes sense, Riddick.
There's another
Amazing
Riddick
Spider-Man
movie
2.
coming, really?
Oh yeah, that's been in the works for a while. And wow, this it looks real sad.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was on EW this week, and it has oh shit,
No, Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man.
It's called Amazing
2.
Spider-Man 2.
Oh wait, the trailer. Wait, what did you say?
The new movie.
Was on what?
It's on Entertainment Weekly this week.
Oh, okay.
What's the guy's name that's playing the Lightning guy? Electro. Oh, it's somebody.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
it's Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx,
Right.
who was also at an earlier Comic-Con with Jessica Biel and Josh Lucas for the movie Stealth, introduced on stage as Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx.
Really? I mean, you win an Academy Award, you wave that thing around. Do you think when Halle Berry makes restaurant reservations, she says it's dinner reservations for Academy Award winner Halle Berry?
Probably.
Yeah. On that note, anything else, guys? What's on the site this week, Norm?
On the site this week is a reveal of Adam's costume for Comic-Con.
One of 2 or 3, maybe?
We'll not say very specifically. Update on the latest on the Halo Needler project that
So
Harrison
Vulcan
Cricks
props, Harrison. Yeah,
is building us. And that's it for now.
So we're going to try to catch up with friends while we're at Comic-Con, maybe shoot some video with some people that you've seen on the site before, and really excited about it. It'll be a fun week. Joey, Norm, thanks for being trapped in the car, riding with us as always. We'll be back next week with another episode of This Is Only a Test. How does this sound? How does it start this song, Norm? I can't remember how this one goes. Oh, I got a live one here. Is that it? No, what does he say? Gary says something. Okay, we're gone. Bye.